So we're doing Somersault by Beach Fossils today.
Yes, sir.
From
Is it like surf rock?
2017. It's indie.
It's indie music.
It's not quite surf rock because it doesn't really have that upbeat tone to it.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're an indie group. I think they're from New York.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure they are.
I really don't know anything about them background wise.
Yeah, I don't know much.
I listened to one of their bigger songs that's off of this album like a few years ago, and I loved it. So I just listened to the rest of this album, and that's really all the context I have.
Yeah. The only context I really have is we saw them live. They opened
That's
up for
true.
They opened up for Posty last year.
Yeah, that was a pleasant surprise.
So that was kind of cool.
Down there, you try to.
Yeah, so there's only 11 tracks on this one, so I guess we'll just
Yeah,
get into
it's
it.
a bit of a shorter album, so we could just start it now.
Yeah. So the first track is This Year, which throughout most of the album, they all have kind of sadder tones to them.
Yeah,
musically.
I've noticed that with indie. It's like sometimes it can be kind of depressing.
Yeah, it gives you like either nostalgic type vibes when you listen to it, or just like kind of down, like not sad vibes.
It really like depends on the instrumentation.
Yeah. But their music, on a lot of it, they're singing very slowly. So if you look at the lyrics for each song, they're so short. Because, like, their lyrics are kind of just ambiguous. Like,
Yeah, I've
big
noticed
lyrics
that.
Usually.
There's not much lyrics throughout a lot of these songs. It's just like a verse or two, and then that's it.
Yeah, gives you a lot of space to just kind of fill in with whatever fits in your life. I think
Yeah.
that's kind of the reason they do it that way.
I think so too.
But, yeah, I think it was a good first song.
Yeah, I enjoyed it.
Just saying, like, this year I'm going to try to fix things, and like how people make New Year's resolutions every year and then
They
usually
don't do
don't
them.
end up sticking to it.
Yeah.
That's basically what this is about. But then the next track is Tangerine.
I really liked Tangerine.
That's one of my more favorites.
I think it's one of my favorites too.
But another one with very cryptic lyrics. So
Yeah, I feel like a lot of these songs have that in it, which it reminds me of like avant-garde movies, like stuff that's like really experimental,
yeah.
and there's like multiple layers under it, and this one's doing it with very little lyrics.
Exactly. Like the chorus, it literally all he says is what I see, what I need, nothing in between, everything, tangerine. Like I don't know what any of that really means.
He's the Jalen Hurts of music writers, of songwriting.
But I mean, it sounds great. It's all
Yeah, I
say.
like the sound though.
Yeah. The next track is Saint Ivy.
I liked this one too.
This one's pretty good. I do have like most of these songs saved from here.
I liked almost every song on this album, to be honest.
Yeah, there's really only one track that's like a little bit of a break, like intermission type track.
Yeah, I think I agree with that too when we get to it.
Yeah. But yeah, this one also just a sad tone to it.
Yeah.
Like it's just a guy like who wants to be with a girl and he knows that she doesn't want to be with him anymore type thing, like losing feelings.
Yeah.
The next one is May 1st, which is another good track.
I like this one too.
I always remember the title of this one and try to listen to it when it's May 1st.
Yeah.
But
It's like September by Earth, Wind and Fire. Like everyone has that song that they play on a certain date. Or Sky by Playboy Cardi on the first day of every month.
yeah.
Like everyone's got their thing.
I don't know if this is the actual meaning of the song, but when I think of it and listen to it, it's like May 1st. It's just like such a random date in the year. Just like not a very notable time of year where there's a lot of holidays or anything.
Yeah.
I think it's just like time's just passing. Like
It's like that middle period where not much is going on.
yeah, and I mean that's what the song's kind of talking about. It just says like sun goes down, time rolls on, like just the continuity of things. And then the next track is Rise, which was the one I was saying was kind of filler.
I think this one is probably the weakest track.
It just had like some kind of jazzy type instrumentation behind it, but it was just a guy kind of talking and like kind of poem type.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
Everyone was not a big fan of that
Not
one.
much for listening value.
Yeah.
But the next track is Sugar, which was one of my favorites on this album, definitely.
Yeah, I liked that one too. I think all the tracks aside from the other one, which is pretty good.
Yeah, they have pretty consistent vibe throughout the whole album.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of a good thing for an album that's shorter like this.
Yeah, that's true. If it was like a lot longer, like a 50-minute album, I feel like it wouldn't be as good.
Right, it might have got stale. But when you don't have that much time to be jumping around between multiple different vibes when it's only 30 minutes long.
Yeah.
So I think it kept the album very cohesive.
Yeah, I agree.
What's next? Closer Everywhere. That one was interesting.
Yeah, this one's alright too.
Like,
not a bad one.
The lyrics on this one are pretty interesting too. It's just more that like you really have to try to interpret it on your own. There's no way to know exactly what most of these songs mean without him, the artist, explaining it to us.
Yeah. Which, hey, that's not a bad thing.
No, I kind of like music like that. I think that's a lot of what indie is, too, in general, because...
I feel that way, too, because, I mean, I've been listening to a lot of Mac DeMarco recently, and it gives off very similar vibes.
Yeah, like, they don't usually go into very specific subject matter, like storytelling or anything like that. It's more just, like, they put out words that just make you feel a certain way, and, like, you can kind of tell there's a story to it, but you don't know any of the details.
Yeah, agreed.
Next one is Social Jet Lag.
This one I kind of liked too.
I did like this one.
It was pretty dope.
Yeah. It's another one with very short lyrics.
Yeah, this one was... I don't think I remember much of the lyrics just because it was so short.
Yeah.
It's just like I was more enamored by the sound more than anything.
The thing that he repeats a few times in the song is, "Can we start all our time over again?"
Yeah, so, it's like towards the end of the song. So.
Yeah, so that gives you, I guess, the main idea of the song. Right? The next track is, I think, the biggest track off the album, "Down the Line."
Yeah, this is definitely the big hit.
It's I think this is I've heard.
Probably one of the only songs by them I heard before listening to this album.
Right, same.
Obviously, when we saw them live, so... It was a vibe seeing them live, definitely, which we didn't really bring much of that up into this.
Yeah. But I think this song, it was kind of just like New York, like punky teenager kid vibes.
One of the more upbeat tracks, too.
Yeah, definitely more upbeat compared to the rest of the album. This one did have a little bit of a beachy tone to it, though.
Yeah.
But yeah, I really like that song. That's probably my favorite on the album.
I think so, too.
And then Be Nothing is the next one.
This one's alright, too.
This one's cool. It's
a
little bit like trippy vibes. It's very slow. Like just repeating Be Nothing. And like, he says all you want is you always had something, you wish you had nothing. But then he also said all you got is you never had nothing, you wish you had something. So like more cryptic lyrics.
Speaking in circles.
Yep. So it's a little confusing, but listening to the song as a whole, I think it might be the longest song.
I think so, because most of these songs are pretty short too.
Yeah,
like 2 to 3 minutes usually. This one was like 4 or so.
Yeah, and then the last track was called "That's All for Now."
I kind of liked the vibe of this one, but like it's also just decent to me.
Yeah,
I enjoyed it though, nonetheless.
It sounded kind of like a closing, I guess, compared to the rest of the songs on the album.
Yeah, I agree.
But yeah, it was a little bit of a faster pace too than most of the songs, so it left it on a good note, I thought. But
I think so too.
But yeah, that's the album.
Yeah. Final thoughts. You want to go first?
I really like it. It's a pretty consistent vibe throughout. So usually when I'm listening to this, I'm just listening to the album like through because it's a very easy listen.
I would do the same.
And I don't know. It was my first introduction to Beach Fossils, and from here I did listen to a few of their other songs, like stuff older than this album. But I really like this album a lot.
Yeah. I would definitely listen to more of their stuff. I really liked the vibe, which, I mean, it kind of makes sense. I've always kind of liked indie music. I just never really took the deep dive until recently.
Yeah.
So, I like the sound for sure, and I would listen to more of them. They're already on my list because I saw them live, like I said.
Right.
And they put on a decent show. I just didn't know anything at the time, so I couldn't really appreciate them as much.
Yeah, Beach Fossils and Mac DeMarco are definitely two of the biggest artists that got me into indie music a lot. Like, I made a dedicated playlist for this type of genre around when I found their music.
Yeah.
But, we'll go to scores.
Yeah, what you got?
didn't really prepare it, so I'll just go raw. I think it's gonna be. I really like this album, so I'm gonna give it an 8.5.
Nice.
But I could see someone giving it a lower rating than that, just because like the substance to the lyrics, probably there's not that much substance, because it's, like I said, it's hard to grasp onto details. But at the same time, I think it fits very well with the genre that they're in. I think that's kind of just the style of music in that genre, like leaving things open-ended so you can try to fill the gaps in with your brain. I think that kind of music's cool to listen to.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I'm gonna go a little lower. I'm gonna give it an 8. I really liked it. Like, there's only a couple songs that are all right to me, but like the whole sound, it's very consistent sounding, and it's very chill, and it's a nice length for what it is. I'll say that.
Yeah. So what we got next?
Next week, we're gonna do an artist that we've already done before. This will be our 3rd time visiting them. And if Zach was here at the moment, he'd be upset because we're going out of order. We're doing the newest album by Tool, Fear Inoculum, because I was just talking to a buddy last night about Tool, so I got the idea to pick them again. It's another kind of long album. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's not as long as Wu-Tang Forever, but it's still a little long. But lots of good sounds, lots of very long songs.
Yeah.
Like, this is Tool to the most extreme.
It's 10 tracks and it's an hour and 26 minutes.
Yeah. Most tracks are over 10 minutes. There's a few, like, short interlude ones in between, but I think it's a really trippy and fun listen, and I think everyone's gonna like it, at least a little bit.